Well, hi everyone, and welcome to Inspiration for Today for this Wednesday. We're dedicating it and honoring our good friend, Lou Tirado. Lou was our head usher right up to when we broke for COVID, right up to his 100th birthday. We had a Zoom party for his 100th birthday, and then COVID hit, and of course we had to stay home. Lou went to be with Jesus on July 2nd of this year. And because of not just COVID, but just what is happening in the world, many of us were not able to attend his services. And so we're going to bring those to you the rest of this week. The first being today, and you see Lou was buried in Riverside National Cemetery. And I want to tell you a little bit about that cemetery, but Lou was a World War II war hero, shot down over Berlin, prisoner of war for 9 months. Let me give you his kind of life verse. It's found in John chapter 15 at verse 13. Greater love has no one than this, that he lay down his life for his friends. Now Lou was willing to do that for our country, and many on his B-17 were killed that day. Most were killed that day. But in God's sovereignty, Lou was not. God was not through with him yet here on earth. And he proceeded to give of his life for the rest of his life in service. And so I am proud to know him. You see, it's not just what happened in the war. It's how he finished his life, and he finished so strongly. Had the privilege of visiting with him the day before he went to be with Jesus. And even on that day, the number of his friends that were coming through and honoring him just by being there. And he was verbal, he was sharp as a tack right to the very end. Loved telling his stories, and I loved hearing his stories. Lou was buried, as I said, out in Riverside National Cemetery. While I'm telling you, I'll show you some of the film that I shot that day that we went out there. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. 1,250 acres. It is the largest national cemetery for the burying of our war heroes and their families that is in the United States. There's over 300,000 people buried at Riverside National Cemetery. Actually began in 1976 through the transfer of 740 acres from March Air Force Base, which is really nearby if you know that area. And from there it continued to grow to its present day size, and it has many of our honored servicemen who are buried at Riverside National Cemetery, and it has one more now, Lou Tirado. Well, we want to show you a little bit of that ceremony, and we marched in the flag. They brought the flag up to the front of the little space where we would be worshiping, really, and celebrating, because only his body was being buried. Lou was up in heaven. I captured a little bit of the 21 gun salute and the playing of taps. Then they folded the flag. And that is a tear-jerking experience to be there. As they honor our American flag as Lou honored our American flag. Let's watch for just a moment. And after the flag was folded and presented to the family, then it was my honor just to say a few words and remind everyone about what heaven is like. Let's just listen to a few of my words that I had that the Lord gave me that day. But I also just thought it would be good to read a little bit about what heaven is like and just point out a couple of points on that. In Revelation chapter 22, John, the Apostle John, was given a vision of heaven. Let me just read one paragraph. Then the angel showed me the river of the water of life, as clear as crystal, flowing from the throne of God and of the Lamb down the middle of the great street of the city. On each side of the river stood the tree of life, bearing 12 crops of fruit, yielding its fruit every month. And the leaves of the tree are for the healing of the nations. No longer will there be any curse. The throne of God and the Lamb will be in the city, and his servants will serve him. And they will see his face, and his name will be on their foreheads. There will be no more night. They'll not need a light or a lamp or light of the sun, for the Lord God will give them light, and they will reign forever and ever. I like that passage a lot because you see a couple of things. One, heaven is a physical place. It's not floating around in the clouds or whatever vision the world would like us to believe. It's got a nice river. It's got beauty. When I read that, I just see beauty. And that's awesome. And those things are there. But it also says in verse 3, no longer will there be any curse. There's no sin. And we don't even know how much this current world is stained by sin. But none of that is there. And so I love that phrase is put in that paragraph, because it just says things are going to be absolutely beautiful. And that God is light. He is the light. That there doesn't need to be other light. He provides the light. He is the light. And so I know that Lou is having a great day. Well, I wanted you to get the opportunity to see what took place out in Riverside as we celebrated Lou's life in that venue. Tomorrow we're going to hear from Rick Warren. Friday you'll hear from Kay Warren and from Tom Holliday. Even if you didn't know Lou, you'll be blessed. In a way, Lou represented a lot of the faithful servants. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in today. God bless you. Have a wonderful day in the Lord.
Beautiful day. It's wonderful. This is the day that the Lord name.